So if you were part of my earlier tutorial about setting up a array on with a SolarEdge device, you would have saw that I had one module missing, but I've corrected that. So now I'm just going to add in my strings, string of 10, string of 10. So now I can come down to here and we can see we have two nice congruent strings on this lovely home in Detroit, Michigan. And we have 20 modules running on P505s, and we're running it off of a SolarEdge 6000 HD Wave inverter. All right, so that's cool. So now that we know what we have, now we can go to Unirack's site and you can sign in on uBuilder and you can make an account here. Anybody can make an account. You just have to sign up for it. And then from there, I'll switch screens and we can do a new project. So the first project that I am going to do, I'm going to do a flush mount to the roof. I don't need to do a tilt. I'm going to do it with the map design. And here's the basic items that come up. Now this is the new U Builder a month ago, and I believe the old one, if you have an account, is still valid, but going forward in about a couple of months, I actually talked with the Unirack people today. This is going to be the mainstay. So I believe I use QCell by Hanwha, and I use the 285 or 385s. So I save the changes there. I am not in Miami Beach, Florida. No, 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 no. I am designing a house for a home in Detroit, Michigan. Well, Grosse Pointe. So just to be fair about it. And my zip code is 48236. And John D. Someone was like, "You spelled John wrong." I spelled it like I want to spell it. So let me get the address right. This is Grosse Pointe GR, Grosse Pointe Farms. Oh, I might have to put the actual address, which is 20734. 20734 Lee. Gotta erase some things here. Lee Court. And now I found it's better to come up here and type it in to give you an accurate view of the home that you're going to be designing for. So now you can see that we can niche down into the home and we can lay out our racking. So earlier when we did our design, we did it on the front side of the house, as you can see here. So we're going to do the same thing. So what I am going to do is I've got my area. Um, and this gives you some great information. So your building code layout, your wind exposure, max wind speeds, your snow loads, the elevation. It gives you a bunch of things that you don't have to really research. But there are websites that allow you to do that. You can also tell it what type of roof you have. I don't think this one's quite 30 feet. It might be more like 15. And I am going to use a dark racking option because that's really popular nowadays. And I'm going to use the standard with a cantilever. So now what I can do is I can come here and I can basically design my outline of my roof. So I've clicked there and then I pick a point on the roof and I draw. And when I'm done, what I simply do is double click. And it gives me my roof area. Now, if I want to niche down a little bit more, so I do my hand here so we can move to a better area. If I want to adjust my area, so basically what I do here, because This doesn't give you a perfect angle, so it may be slightly off. So you have to always physically go to your site and measure to make sure that it is actual to what you're designing for. So now it's going to do its thing. We're going to save those changes. Oh, it's a 112 pitch. Save changes. Now I can begin to add modules. So I can add them manually, or I can say I wanted to populate the roof. So if I go populate the roof, see it gave me a specific set. And I can also do that, get rid of them, and do a manual installation. Now, if you're going to do a manual installation, I suggest that you get as close as possible. So we had 2 rows of 10, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8. Then I'll come here, do very much the same. 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more. So I'm going to move my map, come back to here, lay that baby out. Now I'm good. So what I can do also is I know how many modules I have on the roof. Now what I found out is the different colors dictate how or what area they're in. So the ones that are on the edge are going to have at least 2 areas where they can get wind. So from the south, I mean from the east and west, and from the north, as well as the ones on the edge. That's why they are a different color. And the loads in the front are going to get wind from this direction and that direction. So now that we have this, we can generate basically a parts list for our project. So it's really this simple, but here's the difference. Depending on how you are attaching it to the roof will dictate what you choose over here. If you're using just L feet, or if you're using the Flash Kit Pros, which have the flashing on the bottom, as you can see here, with the L foot, or if you're just using a 2-piece aluminum standoff, they have options for you to use. Now, in addition to that, you can also look at the accessories. So I really like these U-boats that they have these universal U-boats. Now, we are using a optimizer driven inverter. So we're going to use microinverter mounting pieces. So we have to ask for those as well. We want to have some wire management, our ground lugs, or you can choose the weeb lugs. But this gives you your basic setup. Also, let's see here. Let's go through it. End clamps, rail. Now I could choose to use regular clamps as well. See how that changed? So from here, I can get my bill of materials, I can see my parts and accessories, and I can print out a list. And it's really that simple. From here, I know what I am working with. I can see how the parts will appear to me when they come out the box. Now, here's one thing that happens sometimes when you develop one of these bill of materials is they will give you the parts count, but the parts count may be an individual or they may be in kit form. And you have to pay attention to whether they are giving them to you in a kit form or a single form, because if it's asking for 2 kits and you're trying to get these end clamps, you'll think it's 2 and there may be 10 in a box. So for this we need 80, and you may have to get the multiplier for those. So if there's 10 in there, you might have to get 8 of these. Um, This is basic stuff and it's really simple. And this is stuff that anyone who is in solar should be able to perform, whether you're an installer, a salesperson, or a project manager. You should be able to at least check some of the items to make sure that you're not spending too much money and you're having the right items for your project. Anyway, that's Solar Emmet. Next time, I think we are going to try Iron Ridge. We're going to take the same project and move it over to Iron Ridge.